Hello there.
Never gets old.
It does not. I still jam out to that every single time. Anyway, we are back and we are on a high note, I would say, from this week. Obviously, the new episode dropped, and it was kind of everything that we were hoping for and some. It's like in retrospect, 2 days after or one day after. How long has it been? I don't know. Time doesn't matter anymore.
Between the two.
Yeah.
Between the two. It's just, I'm excited. I'm sure you guys all are too. But 2 streams in 1 week, you guys are lucky. That's all I gotta say.
You lucky ducks.
I'm just sitting here eating my salmon and broccoli, which now I'm done with. You guys didn't get to tune in on the mukbang earlier, unfortunately.
You are so proud of that salmon and broccoli.
It's member only mukbang stream beforehand.
God.
You guys missed it. It's just me eating my salmon and broccoli, So if you wanna support the channel and tune in on me eating salmon and broccoli, feel free.
You talk about salmon and broccoli the way like gym bros talk about chicken and rice. Just gotta get my chicken and rice.
Ooh. It's the new thing now.
Salmon and broccoli is the new chicken and rice.
The pescatarian version.
Yes.
Anyway, we are back. New episode dropped. Initial thoughts.
Well, I mean, we shared our initial thought.
Yeah, but a lot of people are here that weren't here two days ago. So we gotta
now that we can all
just
properly
unpack
speak.
it all after having a day or two of, just reflecting and hopefully not getting too caught up in the nostalgia and actually thinking critically on whether or not it was a good episode or not. But I mean, I still think it was great. Maybe a couple things here and there, but I thought it was great. What do you guys think?
Zach, why don't you? Because I'm just happy that you're happy.
That's very selfless of you, Kat. No, yeah, my thoughts haven't changed pretty much at all. Like, I think it was still the best episode. The flashbacks were some of my favorite Star Wars moments ever. Like, it feels like, I don't know, like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it feels like cheating. Like, it's not fair. Like it's so cool that it's not even fair. Like it's like they reached back 20 years ago and pulled out some of that Attack of the Clones magic and then like just gave it to us. And it was like, it just doesn't feel like what did we do to deserve such a nice thing?
We were patiently waiting for 4 episodes. I think it's more than deserved for sure.
And not just 4 episodes, but like 15 plus years. If we're thinking about the way, but
like I never thought we would ever see them in these roles again. Like I don't think I started considering it as a possibility until like 5 years ago. Like I just assumed like, yeah, we're never gonna see Ewan as Obi-Wan and Hayden as Anakin ever again. Like why would we? Like it's I don't know.
I mean, we were kind of going on like the theme of never seeing Hayden act again in general, right?
I know.
I mean, he kind of did Jumper, and then after that, he never did anything or anything notable. At least I don't think. If he did do things, I mean, I didn't see him, but I think Jumper was like the last thing he was in. So it's cool to see him on the screen again. Seeing Hayden was like seeing Toby in No Way Home again. I think it hit me a little harder than seeing Toby.
Yeah, I love Toby, but Star Wars is our thing. I mean, that's why we're here. Yeah.
That's
especially
why I'm here.
Since considering, I don't know what Tobey Maguire went through, if any sort of backlash or critique of his performance at all, but I would say he's been pretty well loved.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, Hayden, I feel like it hits harder because of the backlash that he endured, and I feel like that fed into the fact that he didn't have maybe the biggest career post prequels because of just all of the criticism and the critiques that he had to endure. And like, he straight up just like moved back to Canada and bought a farm, like, right? Like it must have like put a bad taste in his mouth. Like, and even Ewan says the same thing. Like, we didn't really think people liked the prequels and it like hurt them. So I feel like it's even more momentous to see Hayden come back into this just like big embrace of love and happiness now that all the prequel fans are like grown and we can like publicly share how legendary he is.
All I can say, I mean, I don't know the guys, and I've seen all the interviews where they're like, "Oh, it means so much to us to have all this like love now." But being at Star Wars Celebration when they came onto the stage, like you could tell it meant like the world to them. Like getting all that applause, like you could just tell. Like it was such a beautiful moment, and I'm so glad I was there for it.
Yeah.
Like I'll never forget that.
It must be cool to know that the fate of Star Wars rests in your hands when before it was like you felt like you ruined Star Wars, right? Because like in the prequels, they felt like they ruined Star Wars because we weren't old enough to, I guess, voice our opinion. Social media wasn't really a thing.
We were just 9. We couldn't be in the
Yeah,
papers
yeah.
like, no, it's good.
We were crying in the theaters. Yeah, I definitely was crying in the theater, but I don't know. Like, it must have been great for them to feel the love from like all of us and to realize that, you know, that in a way they're saving Star Wars with their presence because it's like something that we need. It's like that George Lucas, they're like the last leg of George along with Mark Hamill, you know, and
Yeah.
Harrison could give two shits. He doesn't really care, but you know, it's like it's glad to see that Hayden, Ewan, and Mark, they really care about Star Wars, and it shows for sure. Like they actually have their opinions and they voice their opinions, and obviously they put everything into these fight scenes, or these training scenes, for the new episode, and it just felt like the prequels, you know. And you sit there and you complain about how nothing looks good or nothing looks like Star Wars until we saw this episode, and everything felt like it almost felt like a completely different series to me, you know. And
Yeah.
it was a great experience I mean, I was glad I got to watch it with Zach, and then our roommate who just showed up upon this episode randomly, he got to see it, you know, and he didn't see any episodes before that, but he got to see that episode. He's like, this series is great. And I'm just like, God, if you would have suffered with us, like you probably wouldn't have gotten past the first episode or the second episode. But I mean, I'm just like, why wasn't the entire series like this? Like, why are they waiting so long to give us the great moments? You know, I don't know.
So we rewatched it after we ended the stream the other night, and I started editing something, and I have been like really watching the choreography and just like all the flashback scenes where they're having their duel. And then I went outside and I was like, Alex, the choreography it's like perfect. Like it looks like the prequels. Like I think they straight up like have some of the same moves that they used in the Obi-Wan and Anakin duel in Revenge of the Sith, and then like Obi-Wan holding his lightsaber out, he holds it the same way that he holds it when he's about to fight Dooku and attack the clones. Like there's so many little things, little like nuances that they added. It's so perfect, and it's so genuine. And like I really do believe, like aside from Hayden looking like he's 40, I believe that this is those two characters in that time period. Like it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this episode feels so different from the rest because we finally got to the core of what I've always wanted this show to be, which is exploring the demons between both Kenobi and Anakin and how their past informs, you know, these current events. Like this is the first episode where we're seeing their not only past dynamic, but the way in which Kenobi is using it to predict like Vader's next move. Like that to me is the coolest shiz. And also just seeing like, again, I don't even know how you can act with Vader's helmet on, but the helmet in just some of those still silent brief moments after the flashbacks, like, and you're just staring into Vader's just, yes, like Vader breathing, literally just Vader breathing.
Yeah.
Like that, you can just imagine like the rage that's going through his mind. Like this episode gave that character development and those arcs for the two of them, and you know the way the flashback framed kind of the whole trajectory of this episode's, you know, beginning, middle, end. Like it just, that's what I have been wanting from this show the whole time. It finally boiled down to Kenobi and Vader in anticipation of what is to come next, while still doing an amazing freaking job. I think the writing for Reva in this episode was like flipping phenomenal, and the more I watch it, the more I'm like obsessed with and the way that they handled her character in this episode. Like they definitely can have a good balance, because I know that has been a predominant complaint throughout the series, people feeling like Kenobi's not the focal point and it's too much about Reva. But this episode proved that you can have the combination of all these amazing things and they don't detract from each other.
Yeah, what I liked most about this episode in terms of Darth Vader is I think it was the first episode where it kind of tells the story from his perspective in parts. Whereas like before, he was kind of like the big bad who wanted things done. And then we kind of had to project like what we knew about Anakin onto him. But this episode, it was like alternating between what Vader and Obi-Wan were thinking and their little strategical game. And for all of you who have been complaining that this ruins canon by saying like, oh, but Darth Vader says, when I left you, I was but the learner. Now I'm the master. They could not fight again in the next episode, and they could just leave it at this, and it would work because Obi-Wan proved that he's still the master. He taught Vader another lesson. Like Vader's shown that he's still learning. He doesn't get it yet. So Vader could absolutely be referring to this, or Vader could have just been referring to like, when I left you, as in when I left the Jedi Order, I was but a learner. Now I'm the master. So like either works for me, and it doesn't ruin canon, in my opinion.
Oh, so you would be fine because see, I'm foaming at the mouth now more than ever to see a final showdown between them. But you would be completely fine if there wasn't a penultimate fight in the next episode. And now I'm curious to hear what you think the likelihood of that happening is. It sounds like that you think that might not be the case now.
I feel like the kid in me wants to see them fight. Like I would love that, and I'm really craving some like dialogue between them. But I think the writer in me like it understands like if they don't fight, it works. Like there's something beautiful about this being like a strategic battle and not like a physical one.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, Zach was telling me this last night. I didn't even think of this at all. I just, figured that they were going to fight again. I was like being very like, like matter of fact and very obvious with it. But when he was like, yeah, maybe he outwitted him and realized he could use his dark side powers against himself because he's so blinded, because he's always been blinded. And that's why he kind of got burned alive, basically, because he was so blinded by hatred and he didn't use his I don't even know how to phrase it, but like he just Obi-Wan was just way smarter than Anakin in a lot of respects because he's so blinded by the dark side. And if this means that he just got away and that was the last time they met, and just because he outwitted him, he was the master in that respect, then I'm totally okay with that. I agreed 100%. I was like, that's actually really interesting and different and not obvious, and that's kind of the stuff that I like. The non-obvious in writing is like essential in Star Wars nowadays. But if they do fight, I'm not going to be upset because I know it's going to be way better than the first one. So
yeah, what about, am I just speaking incorrect rumors into existence, but were there rumors that they were going to have two confrontations?
Yeah.
Did that inherently insinuate lightsaber duels, or like? Because I agree.
They never were face to face though. Last episode.
Yeah.
So,
but I agree with what you're saying. I want to just see, especially because I know one of our biggest. I mean, I know not the three of us aren't like irate about it, but there was a lot left unsaid in their initial, meeting on Mapuzo. So I would like to see like a continuation of that, going a little bit deeper into some more heavy hitting dialogue. I don't know.
It would be cool. Interesting if maybe other Jedi kind of got the intel that Obi-Wan was alive and evading Vader, and they go and maybe help Obi-Wan, but in the process, however it's written, they have to face Vader and they lose miserably, and Obi-Wan gets away or something. I don't know. Something along those lines would be pretty cool. I don't know. Like, this is just off the top of my head. I haven't really even thought that out, but I was just thinking, what if that's a scenario?
Can we acknowledge this comment though? Like that's so cool. Like I'm glad you found our channel, and I'm glad you're feeling better. That's super cool. Thank you.
And then also thanks so much, Charlie, for $5.
Charlie with the 5.
Follow up from 4 a.m. stream. Hopefully you killed that bug. Oh, actually,
my God.
Amanda found it the
Tell
next morning.
Story.
Amanda found it the next morning. And then I was asleep, obviously, because I was editing till 6 a.m. And then Colin went and I guess cut it in half with a knife.
Ew!
And then threw it out. So that's the story about that book.
Okay, why would he mutilate it? Oh, he had to cut it with the knife to kill it. Oh, he wasn't just dissecting.
Well, it was
for
kind of
no
already
reason?
it was kind of already dead.
Oh,
But it was like squirming, and man, I
oh.
guess was freaking out, and I heard nothing about it. But
He pulled a Mando, sliced that boy
yeah, he
in
just
half.
sliced it in half and threw it out, and I'm just like, man, I actually kind of wish I would have seen that because it was bothering me for so long. You guys saw it. He was a pest.
Oh goodness.
But and always keep some Axe body spray if you don't have a fly swatter. Oh man, that's kind of brutal. Actually, what did I use? I used something that like it was like this massive, one of those like really big like
The dark saber.
the big the big like bee things. Like they're like hairy bees,
Oh.
but they're really big. You know what I'm talking about? Like they're not June bugs and they're not bees. They're like kind of the in between.
Bumblebees?
No, but they're bigger than bumblebees. Like they're like those
Wasps?
weird, like they're probably not bees. No, wasps are skinny, but like I don't know. It's just really big and they're really gross. And,
There's something bigger than a bee? Oh,
and I sprayed it with what did I spray it with? I had like this like I think disinfectant spray or something. I was like, that's all I had, and like there's nothing else. So I just like sprayed it, and then it like
Oh.
fell, and I was like, oh thank God, because it was like flying in circles all around my office because of all the lights, and it was just bothering me so
So
much.
you poisoned it and you sprayed it while it was in the air, or like while it was
Yeah, because there was no
stationary?
way for me to catch it, and it kept like if I got close to it, it just would like run at my face, and I was like, it's gross. I don't want
So
it to
you
touch
just
me.
raided it with a bunch of disinfectant and that took it out?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
poor thing.
This is war. When it comes to my office, it's war.
This.
Alex's office. But again, thanks, Charlie. You're awesome.
Yeah.
I see Sebastian Mirtz is here. He popped on in our 1 a.m. stream. Thanks for popping in. Of course, Alice, David. I don't think it was a locust.
Potato bug.
Potato.
Oh my
bug?
God! If it was a flying potato bug, I would have probably left the house. Those are like the grossest things in the
They
world.
are. They look like
Wait.
aliens.
What?
They shouldn't be of this. Oh, I don't think you want to look it up.
Now I can't not.
No, I can't not look it up.
Ew.
Yes, now we're talking about bugs, Colin.
Oh. Oh.
It's like a really big ant.
Ew.
It's like a massive ant. It has like a really weird.
I'm so
thorax and
horrible because
abdomen.
I'm so like I'm vegetarian. I'm like be nice to animals, love animals. Yet when it comes to bugs, that's where I draw the line.
Murder.
That is where I become murderous towards bugs. I'm like, why can't I accept them the way I accept other animals?
Alice, if you don't have potato bugs, but I mean, I would accept having potato bugs.
They got
than
bigger
having,
problems.
Yeah, than having everything that
Yeah.
Australia has. So I'm okay with having potato
I
bugs.
think
If
they
you don't
have
have them. That's one
every
less thing.
type of bug over there. I'm stunned that they don't have potato bugs.
They're in most of North America. Yeah, that would make sense. They have that vibe. You know when you see a bug and you're like, oh, this is native to, the Americas. Yeah, you can tell.
It wasn't a tarantula hawk, was it?
A tarantula hawk?
Yeah. Because that would be bad to have in the house.
Ew.
Well, it was destroyed. And
Did it have orange wings?
No.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
You're safe.
I've seen.
Evacuate.
I doubt we would have that here, but
We do have it here.
really.
Yeah, I've seen them out on hikes.
Tarantula hawks? Now I
Yeah.
gotta look up this.
They have one of the most painful stings of any insect. So
Ah.
yeah. Anyway, this is not.
that was a big sidebar. Let's go back.
Yeah, this is not an
Sorry,
insect
buddy.
podcast.
Moral of the
We
story: Alex got that bug.
I murdered that bug. What did you guys think about? What's the droid's called? Droid's name?
Lola.
What do you guys think
Evil.
about the evil Lola with just the restraining bolt or whatever? Did it bother you? I guess that was like a hot topic that a lot of people didn't like. It was just like a simple.
I was more concerned with that. Didn't bother me at all. I thought it was an interesting twist because the whole time you're like, oh, Lola is so cute, and she's like Leia's little pet, and then it's evil, and it was just kind of like jarring to see it acting evil and then going and literally trying to attack Leia. But I was more fixated on the fact that it seemingly took Leia like 45 minutes to find the breaker that ended up being like right in front of her face. That's what
true.
I like. No offense to her, I love little Leia, but like And maybe she had a harder task than I thought.
Yeah.
But it seems like she literally just had to unplug that one thing, and it took a while.
I feel like I would prefer that than her just walking in there and immediately knowing exactly what to do, like with Rey. You know?
I also liked how they just got. I mean, like they got her out of the way for most of the episode. Like she wasn't running around, and like
Yeah,
nothing against little Leia, but like I don't think she had a place in this particular episode really. And so, could they have found a more convincing way to get her out of the picture? Yeah, but like it didn't bother me too much. It was whatever to me.
She's more powerful than Vader. And we're just like, whoa, cannon breaker. Okay. So on to the sabers. Wait,
Yeah.
you guys identify any of these sabers? Have you seen any videos or done any research about any of these sabers, or do you think they're
No.
just like randomly collected as a sign of, hope? And
I think they're random. I don't see any. Well, I was looking for like maces or something, but I don't see any in there that look like his.
Yeah, I was curious if the one that he picked up was going to be a specific recognizable one, but I mean, I like
that
the
could have
idea.
been a great
also.
opportunity too. It could have been a very subtle way of saying a certain Jedi is dead for the diehard fans, but it wasn't utilized, at least.
You
as
think
far as
these
I'm
are
concerned.
collected from dead Jedi?
I think they're collected from Jedi who've like given them up to go into hiding.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought they were like they stockpiled them because they were all trying to take on new identities.
Where do they find them then?
The Jedi give them to them. They hand
Give
it
them to
over.
them. Gotcha.
Yeah, they like surrender them and then leave.
But then why wouldn't they dispose of them?
But like Obi-Wan just buried his. Why didn't they all just bury him? Like I thought they were like giving up completely. Unless they aren't giving up completely. Like that one Jedi. Maybe it's like just Obi-Wan that gave up. I don't know.
To steal a line from the greatest movie of all time, Jurassic Park 3. What if, like, I guess the mentality is like, well, what if the Empire catches me with a lightsaber? It's like, but what if they catch you without one? It's like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't you rather have your lightsaber?
Yeah, because I feel like as long as you never ignite it, I mean, no one can sense that you've got a saber equivalent to like sensing if you could use the Force. Like, I feel like if you just keep it safe, keep it secret, then nobody would know.
Top left looks like Coyote Mundi.
I don't know. He got killed though. So if our theory about this being Jedi who just gave them up and left is true, that's not his. But I can see
clones would have grabbed the sabers. Were they ordered to grab all the sabers? That would have been interesting.
Ooh.
I don't imagine why though. It wouldn't.
I know in a Vader comic they show them like destroying lightsabers. Like Yoda's is supposedly destroyed, but apparently not, according to Boba Fett. But yeah, so in a comic book they were like basically melting the lightsabers down and just destroying them. But
I would have loved to see a scene with Vader. Well, I don't know if they took these on board with them or not, or left them. But that would have been really cool to see Vader have like a Grievous moment and just be like, raging.
Someone's gonna make a Grievous meme with those lightsabers. It's only a matter of time. Look at that boy. The king is back. So he doesn't look that bad there.
In any scene where he has blue on his face or he's in action, it's fine. But it's like the intimate moments where you're like, oh man, he actually looks kind of old, and it's sad. But then it's like
it doesn't bother me though, because it's like,
oh, I know. I'm just saying it's sad. Like it doesn't take me out of it. It's just like, oh, he's older now.
Oh, it's sad because aging.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like what do they want? Do they really expect them to make him look exactly like how he did when he was?
I mean, yeah, you definitely
19.
You definitely could make it close. Maybe just have like deleted scenes.
But then it's almost more fake.
I wonder if there's any deleted scenes from Attack of the Clones you could use. That would have been pretty cool.
I think it's impressive that he looks decently like his younger self. Like, I don't know. Like most people don't age that well.
Yeah, when you're in Hollywood, you have to age well. Otherwise, you're gone.
You're gone.
Get him outta
Ewan
here.
looks like he hasn't aged a day. He literally looks like you could stick this flashback Ewan into a scene in Attack of the Clones, and he looks the exact same.
That's what I was saying. Like when we were at Celebration, like Ewan looks younger than he does in the show. Like I feel like they aged him up a little bit in the modern scenes.
He's just way too young in every respect.
Yeah, he looks like he's
for being
early
almost 50.
40s or something. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's move on to action scenes. Did you guys
Amazing.
enjoy the action scenes? Did you think the camera work was better? Did you think the editing was better? And overall, did you think that a lot of the scenes made sense and weren't like, random, oh, everyone's out in the open, but no one's dying situations that everyone always complains about?
I would have liked to see them bring in some, like lay down some cover in this shot right here. Like if they had pushed in like some, I don't know, like floating things to take cover behind, it would have made more strategic sense. But like, I don't
even
really
in here.
care. Yeah, I don't really care.
No, I thought it was pretty believable because you could tell like they had to retreat, like they were definitely getting swarmed. And I liked it. Felt extremely like claustrophobic, like in the tunnels and the caves, and you could tell there were just less of them trying to hold off, the stormtroopers, and they were definitely taking hits. Like it was pretty believable that a lot of them, to me, like weren't like fighters, and they kind of just gave everyone a gun and were like, "All right, try your best, let's go." But no, I thought the action was just like incredible. I had no complaints about it this episode.
Colin with a gun rights comment. We're not talking about real life here. Politics, Colin. Get out of here.
Well, the government in universe killed everybody who had a lightsaber. So that's one way of banning them, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe they should. Never mind. I was gonna go in a darker area, but I don't want to do that. Anyway,
we're not brave enough for politics.
We're not brave enough for politics here. This scene with Obi-Wan, obviously, finally helping us understand Reva's motivations and why she is who she is and everything. A lot of it, obvious, but the way it was done, I actually enjoyed. What did you guys think?
I
think it's
loved
perfect.
this scene.
Yeah. Like it wasn't like she just was in turmoil by herself with flashbacks. It was Obi-Wan's light side bringing it out of her, and we're so used to seeing it be one-sided where the dark side's always like the alluring side and everyone always falls that way. And to have it kind of be a reverse of that was, I think, a really refreshing take on Star Wars. We were talking about this for a while that night, me and Zach, but I like the idea that Obi-Wan, if anyone's going to turn anyone to the light side, it's going to be Obi-Wan, right? It's going to be Obi-Wan, that Obi-Wan's, willingness to never like change and always stay true to himself and his ideals as a Jedi, to kind of emit off of him into others to, realize like, oh, maybe the light side is what I should be doing. Whatever it is, because you always see it from the dark side's perspective, and to see it in this respect where Obi-Wan's able to turn, I guess, Reva against Vader, but also not, because at the end of the day, the Inquisitors are way too late to be saved in any respect. I believe they just want revenge and death. I think for the most part, that's kind of how I interpreted them. But I thought it was a really great take.
I think one of my favorite parts of this scene is that it's such a throwback to not so much Revenge of the Sith, even though that's where it originated, but the Negotiator.
Oh, yes.
It's exactly, yeah. It's because
negotiate.
It's such a Clone Wars throwback in my mind, because like we see him doing stuff like this all the time in the Clone Wars. So like having him be like, I want to talk, and then he goes up there and negotiates.
Yeah.
And they even say like he wants to negotiate. And it's like, this is such an Obi-Wan thing to do, and I loved every second of it. And
it would have been
worked.
funny. I mean, I think there obviously is no room for him to have, his normal comical humorous self, which I'm glad they didn't do that.
Yeah.
But I just would love to see a Clone Wars where he's just so overly confident and cocky, and no matter what pickle he's in, he knows he's going to get out fine. You know, I just want to see that kind of Obi-Wan again, whether it's Clone Wars flashbacks or what. I heard some people saying we might get some flashbacks with Anakin for Ahsoka.
That'd be cool.
He's confirmed in the
is probably-
cast, right?
No,
Yeah.
is
Wait.
he?
That was a
I mean,
lie?
It wasn't true because people thought it was confirmed just because Rosario Dawson said something
Oh.
like she saw a fake report and she was like, "See you soon, Sky Guy," or whatever. And so people were like, "Oh, she confirmed it." And then Disney told her like, "Hey, you might want to delete that." And you could make of that what you will, because it could either mean like, yeah, it's true,
So
or
Disney's like, no comment.
basically,
But
basically.
oh, interesting. That's kind of. I always feel so bad for actors when that happens because it's got to be so nerve wracking. Being like, oh my god,
seeing Force
mess
Ghost
up like that.
Anakin.
Yeah,
Jeez.
that would with Ahsoka especially. That could be killer. I might disagree a little with what you were. I mean, I do agree that Obi-Wan of all people can bring anyone to the light, but I like how Reva was grilling him justifiably. Like I think you could tell that he's lost some credibility. Like that to me, I was just so thrilled with the whole execution of this. And I agree with what you guys are saying. Like it was great to see him like using his smarts, and then to see that he eventually just exploits her and leaves her for dead. But I loved that she was letting him have it, and you know, she was like, why would I even want your help?
Like,
This
look
is
what
like
happened to
your
Anakin.
fault.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like she let him have it.
I guess the counter to that would be, I mean, he was on Utapau and he got betrayed by his clones.
Yeah.
So, there's no way he could have been on the temple. But then you could also say, well, why did he leave Anakin? And why didn't he advocate for Anakin to go to Utapau when he could have? He was just like,
I think it's deeper than that, because she did throw in like he was your Padawan. Like
yes.
I think she blames him for the whole thing. Like, and we understand that it wasn't all his fault because there was Padme and his attachment to Padme. But like at the same time, that's also kind of Obi-Wan's fault, because he's aware of their thing and he never put a stop to it. It's evident in the Clone Wars in the last season where he's like, tell Padme, did you at least tell Padme I said hello? He could probably have inferred it from Attack of the Clones. The Brotherhood book that just came out heavily implies that he knows what's up, and he's still, he's still there's like a line where he's like, well, I'm not going to do anything about it because it connects to like Satine, and he's like, well, I'm kind of hypocritical because of that. So like, even though Reva doesn't know all of that, like she's not too far off. Like it is Obi-Wan's fault. He did kind of fail. Like I'm not saying it's all his fault. Like Anakin is his own person. Anakin should have known better. He shouldn't have been manipulated so hard by Palpatine. But Obi-Wan isn't blameless, and I think that's okay. Like Obi-Wan's not perfect, and none of us are. And he acknowledges that he failed, and I think it's really good, honestly. And I don't blame Reva at all for being pissed.
No, I feel like you can even see it. Like there were even moments in these flashbacks of their duel. Like Anakin clearly has Obi-Wan beat, and then Obi-Wan is able to, do a little maneuver and, fake him out, even though he technically lost. Like, and he says, yeah, you're a great warrior, but you have attitude problems and you have to get over it. It's like, help him get over it. Like that part alone, I feel like, there's so much just in that one exchange where I was just like, give him more positive reinforcement. Like, especially knowing what happens. It's like, be nicer to him a little bit, maybe, or else he's going to kill you all.
He's not a dad. He's no dad. He's a Jedi,
He's not. He's not a dad. He's more like a brother. Like they say it in the movie. He's like a brother to me. Like
That's true.
Or you're my brother or whatever. And like the whole thing.
He does say he's like my father. But but he really isn't. Like it's a really bad father figure, because he obviously doesn't know what a father figure is. He's never had one.
Yeah.
Except for maybe Qui-Gon, if he would have,
for 2
me,
minutes.
who knows what would happen.
That's the argument, though. Yeah. It's like Qui-Gon would have been more of a father to him. Yeah. Whereas Obi-Wan is more like a brother, an older brother.
Obi-Wan is too much of a indoctrinated, dogmatic Jedi, whereas Qui-Gon was like I can see both sides and help you.
I feel like Qui-Gon would have said, look, Anakin, you need to choose. You can either be with Padme, and that's fine, but leave the Jedi Order, or you have to give up on this and you have to let her go and join the Jedi. And he would have made Anakin choose, because I don't think you can do both. And Obi-Wan's technique of just ignoring it and acting like it wasn't there did not work. Holy
Ew.
crap. That was
Sorry,
jarring.
I always do that. Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I just think that Obi-Wan has stayed true to himself and his character in any respect, and he's never even let up. I think even the only inkling where you kind of see him letting up a little bit is when he says, "You were smart and wise, Anakin. I'm very proud of you." It's probably like one of the very few moments when Obi-Wan kind of, like, I guess in the movie canon, is like,
Gives him some
look,
praise.
let's take a step back and let me talk to you, instead of it just being like, Anakin, stop, Anakin, what are you doing, Anakin,
Mm.
no, Anakin, so so it's just like, if you maybe would have approached Anakin a little bit more that way in retrospect, sure, but that's not his character. He was kind of thrown into the training of Anakin. It's kind of like a stepdad, so
Mm.
he didn't really have a choice. He just made a promise, and he failed in his promise. Everyone seems to fail in promises in Star Wars. That seems to be the thing.
The
Yeah.
broken
But-
promise.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, Obi-Wan was in such a difficult position because I feel like he was the only Jedi aside from Ahsoka who like truly knew Anakin. And I think he knew that Anakin's best qualities were also his most dangerous ones. And he kind of got lulled into denial about that. Whereas like the rest of the Jedi were like, he's dangerous. Like can we trust him? Blah, blah, blah. And Obi-Wan was always very staunchly like, he's the chosen one, right? Like he saved me time and time again during the Clone Wars. Like he's always bailed me out. He's always saying like, he's always like making snide comments to Anakin, like, I know better than to argue with you. And then like Anakin goes and saves the day. And it's like, he always does that. So when Anakin finally does crack and turn to the dark side, Obi-Wan's shocked, but like he really shouldn't have been. He was just too blinded by love for Anakin, I guess. And it's just such an interesting relationship. And I wish that the show had explored it a bit more than they have. Maybe had some less Reva and less Leia, just so that you could really focus on that relationship. Not that Reva or Leia are bad. I'm so interested in the Obi-Wan Anakin relationship because it's so rich and deep and tragic.
Yeah, I feel like in a way, both Leia and Reva don't necessarily add to the story because they're not in anything else. Whereas if you could have had more time, I mean, Leia obviously, but like in terms of it being her character arc, it's like we don't see her for another, I don't know, how old is she in A New Hope? Like
19.
Yeah, she's 19.
Yeah, so for like another 9 years, it's not like we've had little Leia since episode 1. We've had young Anakin, so it would have been great to have kind of more build off of his character, because there's a lot that hasn't been explored, and there's only so much you can do in 3 films. Obviously, we have the Clone Wars, but it's not live action. It's a completely different medium. So having storytelling in a live action perspective for Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi was, I think, should have been the main focal point of this 6-episode series. And so far we've gotten, I think, maybe 2 episodes where you felt like it was like a connective episode paralleling their relationship. Everything else just kind of seemed like, oh, there's this moment, there's that moment, and then it's just like the characters in the show, not so much about Obi-Wan and Anakin. They almost seemed like they've been on like the sidelines for a little bit. And it's sad, but I mean, I guess we'll see how the finale goes.
I feel like they got too caught up in exploring the reason that Vader got onto Obi-Wan's tail as to actually exploring them. Like, they obviously, Reva and Leia are like the key to this whole conflict, right? And they got too entrenched in like exploring them and like spending more time with them and like saving Leia and getting her back home, when really we just want to see Obi-Wan and Vader. But I still have enjoyed the show. It's not perfect. It's not as good as I hoped it would be, but like I've said so many times before, just seeing you and Obi-Wan as Obi-Wan again it's just like, it's unreal. Like, I love it.
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting for the finale to make any overarching judgments, because I do want to be able to just watch all 6 episodes in a row to watch the finished product as it was intended to be, the consecutive story. But I do agree. I definitely anticipated that this show was going to be a bit more focused on the inner workings of Kenobi and Vader and both of their, emotional turmoil and processing of what happened and how that was going to feed into, this boiling point that I assume we're approaching. But I mean, I don't know. Depending on how this ends, I don't know, not to segue into or go off topic, but I don't know where I stand on if I'd be open to or completely against a second season, depending on how this ends.
Should we talk about that? Because that is like one of our topics.
Yeah, but really quick, I just want to talk about this comment. I'm
Yes.
surprised. I thought everyone did know who we were, but I guess not. Yes, I'm AD Edits, and Zach runs my second channel, ADHD. In case you guys didn't know that, we're
conjoined twins.
Yeah, we just use editing tools and post production to make it seem like we're in different rooms, but really we're right next to each other the entire time.
Yeah.
And Sledge, yes, I mean, dude, you're more than free to voice your opinion on how you feel about it. Don't worry at all. I agree. I mean, that's how me and Zach were feeling before the episode even started. We're like, I want this to be at least okay, so I don't go and hurt myself later. And it ended up being the best episode of the series, in my opinion. So, I mean, everyone has their thing, and if you end up finding the next episode to be great, and it may not make you feel great about the series as a whole, but as long as it gives you those little moments that you kind of been waiting for or hoping for, that's all I think we can hope for at this point, really.
Yeah.
I mean, we take what we can get. I couldn't even form words there for a second.
Also, we've got a poll. Poll is live. Grade the episode A through F. So far, A is in first place with 64%. B is at 29%. Absolutely nobody thinks it's average at a C, 0%. And then 7% think D through F.
What'd you give it, Kat?
Definitely A. A for sure.
You're like F. I hated it. I'm like, whoa, holy shit.
Plot twist.
Plot twist. Kat actually hated the episode she just cried about. Tala dying.
Ruined it for me.
I'm assuming Zach's an A.
You would assume correct.
Alex?
Yeah, I think I'd give it an A. I've noticed Tom said he didn't like the CGI of pulling out the ships, and I watched it a second time and it still didn't bother me. Like it didn't bother me that much.
Yeah, I don't want to speak for him. I think he's more bothered not by the CGI in this episode, but by the overall neglect in regards to the whole budget in general. Overall, I think he's just more enraged, not about the specifics, but about like this story. Because he admitted we watched the episode twice in a row last night. No, three. No, twice. We watched it twice.
14 times.
Which one is it, Kat?
And I was like, how do you feel? Do you feel a little bit better? Because he really kind of was very not in a good mood because he had a lot of conflicting emotions because he was like kind of just like on high, like very like, what's it called? Overstimulated because he was like, this is amazing. This is some of the best shiz ever in Star Wars. This is the most important story that they have told so far. Yet you can tell based on the way the budgets have been divided that the executives or people involved didn't treat it that way. Like that's what he's most upset about. Like you can just tell. And I think that's been an overarching complaint overall from people. I don't know, but like as soon as I heard from like what I had told you guys, Josh mentioned that this was only like a fraction of the budget that they allocate to like Mandalorian. Like that upsets me as well. Like
It does.
Why would they not register that this is such a beloved story and this is the most high stakes, most important legacy characters aside from Luke Skywalker that they've dealt with so far, and it's evident in some scenes that that's not the way it was treated, and you can see
it's like they thought they were just throwing us a bone or something. It's like you had no idea how like craved this series was. Like it's all anybody was talking about for like 5 years. Always asking Ewan McGregor, "Are you going to play Obi-Wan again?" All these rumors about an Obi-Wan series for 5 years, and you come into it treating it lesser than The Mandalorian. Like it doesn't compute to me. Like The Mandalorian's great. I've said this before. It's great. I enjoy it, but it's not. It doesn't mean nearly as much to me as like Obi-Wan Kenobi does. He's one of the iconic characters of all time, not just in Star Wars and anything. Like everybody knows who Obi-Wan Kenobi is.
Mhm.
My mom has not watched Star Wars. She knows who Obi-Wan Kenobi is. Like it's Obi-Wan freaking Kenobi. Like
That's
God.
freaking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
that's freaking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we've complained about the production design and the budget restraints in some aspects when, like, for like the last 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So I mean, I agree 100%. I just thought, at least maybe, I wonder if they're just like, let's just make the first 4 episodes not look great, and then make the 5th episode like decent, and then everyone will be like, oh my god, I'm relieved now. Like, I wonder if there's like a whole thing behind like budget allocation. They're like, we'll save the money for like these episodes because this is what needs to look good. But it won't look obviously to a film level, but it'll look good enough to make everyone forget that the first couple episodes weren't great. To like make everyone have like a good taste in their mouth so that they continue consuming. I mean, I'm just thinking of it from like a marketing perspective. Or
But
from
why
like
wouldn't you just
whatever.
make every episode look good?
I don't know, Zach, but I'm thinking maybe they
We're
weren't giving
trying
as
to
much
give them
money
the
as they
benefit of
thought.
the doubt.
No, I'm actually
Yeah.
tearing them a new one, but I'm just thinking like in terms of how they would think, if they didn't have enough money, or they realize they look at the dailies and they're like, we can only shoot today, we don't have another day, and then they just are like, okay, we'll do the best with what we got. And
Disney will shoot today. They don't have the patience for a siege.
Yeah, Mickey just
Stanley's
shows
makes
up on set.
Stanley's makes a good point. I think
Yeah.
they were filming, during, it wasn't necessarily peak COVID, but it was still like had to be masked and everything. And
Yeah.
I'm assuming it definitely costs productions. It's been a huge, addition to the overall cost and budgets to have COVID protocol and be able to test people every day and whatnot and be able to adjust to that. But that shouldn't be.
Because wasn't Mandalorian season 2 also, and I'm assuming Boba Fett as well?
Yeah, both of those were, I would assume, filmed, and even Mando season 3. I'm sure
Yeah.
they've been having to wear masks on set and stuff. So I don't, as much as we're all understanding, I don't ever want to watch a show and be like, oh, you could tell that they filmed this during COVID because it's so rushed. Like, especially for, I don't feel like anything. I'd like to hear more what the Stanleys have to say because I haven't felt like things have been rushed. But what do you guys think?
I just think it looks cheap, and some
Yeah,
areas, some
I
shots look great, some sets look great, but others it looks bad.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what if there's anything from episode 5 that I was like, oh, I don't like it. I mean, obviously shooting in, I think, the same set as the Order 66 scene, maybe showcases a little limited budget, but it being in one location. But I mean, it's okay because it's training and they're in the temple, so it's fine. Like, I feel like if it was a film, you would see them walking through the temple with a bunch of people
Yeah.
around, but it's a TV show, they just show one location. So yeah, it is very limited in that scope, and it's sad that TV shows have to be limited like that. But and again, I highly doubt this, but I mean, I remember Googling the budget per episode of Kenobi, and it said 25 million. I'm like, there's no way.
There's no way.
There's no way. Like, even if it says 10 million, I'd still be like, what the hell? But if it's a $60 million show, I would assume that most of that money is in the last 2 episodes.
Or marketing.
Or marketing, which would be really fucking irritating because that means that they spent all of their money to get us to watch it, only for us to be disappointed.
Do you guys think they're becoming too dependent on the round, the sound stage? I don't even know what the proper term is.
The
volume?
The volume. I always
we
wanna call
talked
it
about
that.
this. Yeah, we said it's very limited, very limiting. It worked for the Mandalorian.
Yeah,
but,
it's like
when you have
amazing in Mando.
when you have like Jedi and like war and conflict and not adventure, you need sets. Like I'm thinking Andor is gonna be really good because of the sets and not
Yeah.
shooting on location. But like I just feel like it's very like I think this realized how limiting it is, and you can only do it for so many things. Because like I'm like trying to remember, like even the Ahsoka. I remember when we first saw Ahsoka. That episode was amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
I was like, they had the set design, the production design, and they shot the volume for a lot of like the background, but the background was just all barren wasteland and trees. Like it's not very noticeable in that respect, and you don't feel like you're closed in it because it's expansive. Whereas there's a lot of shots on Kenobi that use mounds of dirt or a crane in the
Yeah.
background as blocking instead of an expansive universe or something different, like a snow planet or something like that would have been cool as a contrast or homage to Revenge of the Sith, and it just wasn't evident there. If they have some fight on Mustafar again in the finale, which I highly doubt that, I couldn't imagine that happening. Actually, I don't even want. I don't think I want that. Actually, it would be too on the nose and too unnecessary, unless they
Yeah.
kidnap Leia or something. You know, like yeah,
Third time's the charm.
I don't know, but that's my thought. Yeah, snow speeders, the worst part about this entire show by far. If you're gonna bring the snow speeders in, also, why snow speeders? I was like, I was also thinking about that. Is Inquisitorius is like a water planet, right? For the most part.
Yes.
Yeah. So
That's all
why
they had, right?
they only had snow speeders? They didn't have any X-wings. They didn't have.
I guess not. I don't know if that they're a part of the Rebel Alliance specifically.
Yeah, I think they're way more like grassroots.
So then were snow speeders like
Starcraft.
a trade thing or like a travel thing, and they just turned them into like warships in Hoth? You know, so that's something that I guess wasn't explained. But yeah, the snow speeders were really, that episode left me with like one of the worst tastes in my mouth ever. And I was
It's
like,
just so crazy though. That episode 4 versus episode 5 is like two completely different shows. Like it's wild to me. Because overall, I'd say the show has done a great job of having a wonderful consecutive storyline. Like Mandalorian, for example, has season 2 had a much better through line of a consecutive plot, but there were still side episodes that deterred from the mission at hand. Like, he couldn't just go right to the planet where Ahsoka was and find her.
Yeah.
He had to stop back on Navarro and have that whole thing. Like this, I have appreciated that the episodes do bleed into each other and there's like no stopping. It just keeps going. But I look at episode 4 to episode 5, I'm like, that is such a drastic like difference to me.
Totally. I mean, I am thankful that we don't have Kenobi like stopping off at a planet and saving somebody in exchange for something else. Like,
yeah.
But it was almost like they didn't care at all about episode 4, and they were just like, whatever, we're just gonna like not spend very much time writing this, because they wanted it to lead to episode 5, which had all the cool stuff. Like, it just seems like they didn't care that much about episode 4, and it reflected in the product. Have you seen the before I forget, there's like this I don't know if it's true, but there's something that each episode reflects in the corresponding like saga episode. So like, for example, episode 1 of the Kenobi series spent a lot of time on Tatooine, like you do in the Phantom Menace. Episode 2 of the Kenobi series, he's doing his detective thing, like he was in episode 2 in Attack of the Clones. And then episode 3, it's a showdown between Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
And episode 4, he
Save Leia.
he saves Leia. In episode 5, there's a lot of
Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, like master and apprentice training and whatever. Like there's like a theme or an element that corresponds to both, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, no, that has been cool. I thought about that going into this week's episode because I really thought, I was like, I mean, they obviously did damage. They freaking killed my favorite freaking character, but I can't talk about that. But yeah, no, definitely you felt like the wrath of the Empire this time, but not as much. Wasn't as devastating. They still won. I really thought that episode 5 was going to leave off on like a sad bummer note where you're like, oh my gosh, stakes are high going into the finale. Like I thought there was going to be, thought there was going to be a bit more devastation for the network here.
Show the exact frame where she dies.
We get Tala dying like Boromir.
Ned B, really, he pulled a Boromir, and
yeah, he did.
I like literally can't see the frames. Like
right there, she's blowing up.
Right
that's
here?
her.
Yeah, you're on it. Oh,
that's right after it.
I cannot see the frames.
Keep coming back.
There it is. She's right there.
No.
Oh, explosion.
Stop.
Am I there yet?
What is it with Disney lately? And
you were.
First Tala, or no, first Jennifer Beals in Book of Boba Fett. Now Tala. Beware! As soon as they introduce a really cool female character, she might get blown to smithereens.
I got the thermal detonator. I think it's as close as
because she's holding a thermal detonator.
You do not want to be in a tunnel with a thermal detonator. I've learned that from Battlefront. Just the grenade spam in that game.
Real world experience from Alec.
Yeah, PTSD. But yeah, I mean, Amanda told me that she got all emotional during the Tala death.
Alice.
And later Alice. And then no one knew, and she didn't understand why. And I'm like, well, because she's a good character, you know? Like, it's... And she's like, yeah, I like, lately I just haven't really liked the female characters in Star Wars, but I really liked her. And so I got sad about it. And I'm like, yeah, like, it's called her being a good actress and doing the best that she can. Because, like, I mean, obviously, I'm assuming Rey got emotional. I'm assuming... Oh, Kat did get emotional. Kat like blew up and died slowly when Tala died, right?
Do you die slowly when you blow up? I think you die very quickly.
No, it was an internal. It just slowly seeped out.
Oh God.
She was just so sad. But
she's losing the will to live.
She lost the will to live.
That's how I felt after Tala died. I was like, I can't believe this freaking show.
We need to add that in the soundboard.
We need to add so much.
Lost the will to live. She's dying.
She's dying. It's like, yes, that's what losing the will to live means. So
anytime Kat gets emotional, we just play that.
Have you seen the Robot Chicken where it's the Dr. Ball and he's like, she's lost the will to live? What is this, a Shakespeare play?
Oof. Did we want to talk about season 2, or what are our other?
Yeah. Let's just close out the episode. Obviously, we already talked about this. The Vader scene, it paralleling. I like the parallels between the two.
There are some people saying that the ship that they're on comes out of nowhere.
Oh, you can see it in the frame.
I know. But like I thought that at first too, and then I went back and watched it, and you can see it when the other ship, the decoy ship, is taking off. So I just wanted to clear that up.
No, it's way back here.
But I love we'll get to it after this, but yeah, so it's right here. It's down at the bottom.
Yeah, you can see it right there.
So Tom's biggest question was, who did they have piloting that one?
It was the ghost of Wade.
Oh.
At the end of the day, it was Qui-Gon.
I assume it's maybe they have like a robot or it's like on autopilot or something. I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure there's autopilot or auto.
Yeah, you get an astromech in there and they can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just sacrifice the astromech because droid lives matter.
Rip.
Anyway, let's I mean, obviously the scene was great.
I love the shot where he turns slowly to face her is so scary. Like, I think that's the scariest Darth Vader's ever been.
Because he's gonna annihilate her.
Yeah.
Like, you just know that she's done for.
It's like eerie how slow he turns, and like she's just like shitting bricks.
The music during the scene, also the music in this whole episode really did it for me. Like, but this scene in particular, the score was freaking phenomenal, I thought.
You went a little too far.
I'm just gonna play a little bit of it.
Yeah, it's like this next shot. Look at that. He's like, are you kidding me?
It's like, bro,
You really thought you did something.
I saw that coming like 2 hours ago. Don't act like you're sneaking up on me.
It does make me feel so horrible. This is what I love about. I feel like they really like the writing for this episode. Like I always just get. I love when you can write a character that 1 minute I'm absolutely flipping out at them, like enraged with their decisions, but then the next, like I feel pity for them and like I feel so sad. Like what they did with Reva's episode or Reva's character between episode 4 and episode 5, I feel like is like I was so happy with how they handled it.
We got to see Force Unleashed Vader.
Yes.
Dude, he went ham.
Like, I wonder if that was even him trying, though. You know, like he
Not
technically
at
wasn't
all.
trying. So that's why it was like it was still crazy what he did, but he wasn't really trying, which is exciting. You know, like I see him as like trying on Rogue One maybe because he has to get those plans. And he's
Yeah.
just like, I need to get through all these like mofos as fast as possible. Whereas this is just kind of like I'm gonna play with my food for a little bit, you know. And then I will say, do you think that she should have just died right there?
I would have to wait until I see what happens next episode. Right now I would say yeah, but like if they do something really, really, really nicely with her in the next episode, maybe it was worth her living. But I don't know. I have to wait. And I'll
She
get back
took
to
a
you.
serious wound. Like he literally, it was like right around here. I guess kind of similar spot where Cal Kestis got.
It was like can you go to the frame, Alex, if you can find it? Well, I thought it was like just straight stomach.
I thought she was dead. I was like, you're
yeah.
dead. I was like,
At
you're
first,
dead.
I thought it was like right through the chest. I was like, yep. Maybe it's like right through the diaphragm.
I thought he was gonna Dooku her when he had the 2 lightsabers.
Everyone, oh my gosh, yes, literally, they teased.
Oh, that would have been a great callback. I gotta just keep pausing it. Oh yeah,
God, that's so cool. That's a thumbnail right there.
It's beautiful.
I don't like the clones though.
I don't like you.
I don't like how they look.
The blue looks a little light, but that's it.
Maybe the camera they used to is just different. Or no, maybe it's because they're not CGI. I think there was a lot of CGI that was used, which made them look different.
The clones were all CGI.
Yeah,
in the prequels.
So that's why they look okay.
They're just real. That's why
they had to find actors to play the clones who were all the same height. Just very crazy.
Imagine what's it called? If they use that deleted scene that we reviewed a long time ago.
Oh my God!
Walking through like the temple and everything was just chaos. Like if they had the budget to show that, imagine if they did that. That would have been so cool.
Yeah.
But instead we get closed doors and closed corridors, which is fine, you know. But wait, can you actually see him stab anything?
Yeah.
Oh wow, you saw it. It showed it right there.
Yeah. All right, we're close. We're close. That shot. Oh my God.
That's an evil man right there.
To be hated and have to perform that, I wonder how he felt.
Joy.
All right, where's her wound?
Yeah, it's like right.
It's like in her heart, dude. She's dead.
Yeah, that's why I was like, how is she still going?
That's why I'm thinking they had to have like reshot it and it was like she has to stay alive because we're doing a season 2 or something. And
Qui-Gon died from that.
Qui-Gon died pretty fast after that. And she's kind of like crawling around, not even like, you know, breathing weird. She's just like, ow, I got stabbed. Let me look at this for a second. Oh, okay.
Let me check my phone real quick.
I heard. I know. He's like, how many likes did my post get?
About to kill Obi-Wan.
Quit my job today.
Wish me luck.
If it felt kind of cute, might delete later. But she's dead. I mean, come on.
I wouldn't be surprised because I am just like, what is the point of showing her making this discovery and insinuating that Luke is in danger if she's not somehow gonna pick herself up and limp onto a ship somewhere and go to Tatooine all without dying? How can you live with a whole
I don't know.
She just got a little bit shanked. The saber went through her body. Like, I don't know
Even-
how they're gonna handle like what I
Even
don't
if she gets medical attention, she's not gonna be in fighting shape for like a while. I feel like
She's gonna be in
Yeah.
a chair like what's this
Professor X.
Professor X, and then she's gonna use her mind to talk, and then we're gonna be so confused about what's even happening. It's gonna be like Yoda. She's gonna be like
Tis
she's
but
gonna
a
have a little floating
scratch.
thing like Yoda.
it's just a flesh wound.
What is?
I've
this?
had worse.
Okay. Anyway,
Oh.
let's just go back. I don't know how to get out of that. I mean, unless Qui-Gon got stabbed, and then he's like, man, I know that if my Padawan trains Anakin, he's gonna turn to the dark side and destroy the Order. So let's just do it that way. Train him, you know.
I'm dying anyway.
He's like, I don't want to. It's like if I train him, he's gonna be a good Jedi, and we don't want that. We want Obi-Wan to train him because he's too like the Order. So
You can't make 9 movies about that.
he's like, and I have immortality. Like I know how to become a Force ghost. So I'll just die here.
Dude, people dying from stab wounds is so early 2000s. Like Toby survived one in Spider-Man. Reva survived.
Oh yeah, I totally
hers.
thought he just died. I was like, I remember I saw that. I'm like, oh shit, so he just is dead? And then he's like, okay, and I'm like, wait, okay.
Team
No one
Money.
stabs to kill anymore. Oh,
T-Money, I loved your can't touch Vader edit. Tom and I were laughing hysterically
that
at
was
it.
great. We
It was
would have
really-
shown it, but I'm pretty sure we get copyrighted
Yeah.
because of the track.
It was great though.
I thought it was great
legendary.
too. Yeah. Anyway, let's segue into our last segment, just about
Season 2?
season 2 of Kenobi, if that's a thing, and then we'll close out.
Yeah, so
Go ahead.
Ewan McGregor has been pretty vocal about wanting to do a season 2. On numerous occasions, he's mentioned wanting to do it. He even teased it at Star Wars Celebration. But most recently, he said to GQ, I really hope we do another. If I could do one of these every now and again, I'd just be really happy about it. So, I mean, he's not only the lead actor, he's the executive producer too. So, like, I feel like this is going to happen, guys.
And you know what? Coming from him,
Yeah.
I kind of trust it because it's one thing if an actor who knows this character inside out and has utmost respect for them. It's one thing if an actor were to come out and say, like, I'll do it if they want me to, versus or just flat out saying, no, please leave this character in peace. Like this is as far as their story can go, which is kind of what Harrison Ford did a little bit with the sequels. He was like, kill me off, go ahead if it's right, like do it to bring in the new generation. Like I'm sure there could have been room for Han Solo still, but that's completely different. But the confidence that I feel, I guess, hearing it from Ewan McGregor himself, that he's willing to do it means that he doesn't think they could do wrong by exploring the character more and that there are more stories to tell. So
Yeah, I mean, people love Qui-Gon. Like, as far as I'm concerned, a lot of people's like their favorite Jedi is Qui-Gon. So, I mean, they have a market. If they're just doing it for money, they do have a market for it. So, you hear that, Disney? You hear
but
that,
also
Mouse?
I can't. They've seen the resounding positive, like this was the #1 premiere on Disney Plus. Like, you know, depending on how the finale goes, like this could be a highly ranked series, you know, rated, like, you know, amongst the fandom. Like, I can't imagine that a season 2 could be not good, considering like they could take what the reception has been this time around and implement that.
Add more
and,
money, maybe.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
It just seems like it would be a little overreaching. I mean, maybe okay when you think about it, 2 seasons maybe would be 12 episodes, and like most shows get 10 episodes a season.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
I mean, it could work. It could work. It's just I guess how they do it.
What would it look like? What do you guys think would happen in a season 2?
Or just focusing on Luke.
Depends what happens end of this
Yeah.
season. Like, I don't know.
I think you could do. I think the most likely thing would be it would be smaller in scope, and it would be a lot of like watching Luke and
Qui-Gon flashbacks.
like not Qui-Gon flashbacks, but like being trained by Qui-Gon.
That's what I'm saying. It would be a
Yeah.
It would be a, like being trained like as a Force ghost.
Yeah, like
Oh.
learning to commune with Qui-Gon more and
Okay.
receiving the training that Yoda was talking about. and maybe protecting the Lars homestead from like, I don't know, like gangsters or something on Tatooine, like something smaller, some smaller conflict.
Here's the thing, though. I
I don't want Tatooine. I
sick and
know. I
tired.
know. I know. I know.
I can't stand
Yeah.
that planet anymore. And I know that
Or
we're heading back there. for
Let's
the
just do
finale
Jakku.
episode. Oh, God.
it's so much better. Or maybe Vader and Obi-Wan do talk in this next episode. Obi-Wan gets the idea in his head, like maybe I can turn him back to the light side, and then spends next season trying to do that but fails, and then that's why Vader is like, Obi-Wan once thought as you do to Luke in Return of the Jedi. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
I could also imagine, because seeing, I'm sure Tala had a huge impact on Kenobi. She did so much, literally ultimate sacrifice. I can't imagine him after this whole adventure here and his whole now encounter with the network and the path and knowing what they do to try to help Jedi and Force sensitive children. I feel like it would be out of character for him to just be content to just go back to Tatooine and not at all try to help out with that. Like, I feel like it's very believable that he'd want to try to find a way to be involved somehow to like fight the good fight.
Yeah, right.
But then again, like we know he does go to Tatooine and spends years there watching Luke. So maybe there's something needs to happen to where like maybe he initially thinks like, oh, I could help out, and then maybe like Luke almost dies because he's gone or something, or like something terrible almost happens, and he's like, okay, the greater good it would be for me to raise this boy up into a Jedi and have him defeat the Empire. Maybe he learns to think big picture. I don't know, but I think you're right. Like it would be weird for him to not do anything, like to just bury his head in the sand and wait it out.
Because as far as he knows, I think it came as a shock to him, like, oh, there's underground networks trying to like, fight back. Like that's not happening on Tatooine, I presume. Like, so to him, this is coming as a shock, and it's been hard for him to even wrap his head around the fact that people are willing to do this. Like, hence why he thought he was being tricked, like when they went to Mapuzo. So like, I feel like hopefully this resonates with him. My biggest thing is just depending on how this finale is. I gotta see the final episode, and that will dictate whether I'm like, frick yes, bring it on season 2, or if I'm like, please just leave it at that. But based on the way things are going right now, I wouldn't mind season 2.
And okay, Jimmy, if it involves Cal, I can see it where Cal's like the main person for the story, therefore it shouldn't be a Kenobi season. It should just be a Cal spinoff or something. I don't know. But I don't even know if we necessarily need that, because we do have the game coming out. So, which by the way, storytelling in the first one was just some of the greatest Star Wars ever. Just beautiful. And I just wish that the show could have been like that. Where I felt
I don't know. Did you guys like the Fallen Order 2 trailer? I can't really like. I don't know what to make of it. So like, I'm not that excited, but I'm not like. I'm sure it's EA. I'm really skeptical about EA in general. So like, I'm not putting any.
It's vague, but from what I've come to know, I mean, I hope to God it's not like they just do it for the cash cow that Fallen Order has become, and they don't put as much effort into it as the first one. But I mean, we'll see. But I can't imagine it being bad, like at least from a campaign perspective.
I hope not.
Like, it has to be great. But then again, we're starting about Kenobi.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm trying to keep an open mind. I'm freaking stoked for it, but I also won't be surprised if I still end up liking the first game better, because they just really knocked it out of the ballpark with Jedi Fallen Order. So, I mean, not to say they couldn't do that a second time, but they set a high bar. So,
I mean, I don't think we should see Ahsoka since she has her own show. So, I'm like actually now trying to think, what are they going to do for the finale? Like, I actually don't know where my mind is going to go with that.
Well, they are on their tail. I forgot about that. They did kind of leave it a little bit. Rogan said their hyperdrive is failing and the Empire's following them. So
they have to
Vader is still chasing, and Grand Inquisitor, who didn't rumor mill say we were gonna see him fly? Like, we've yet to see him in action, so something big could ensue.
He was gonna fly with his saber.
I could maybe just be making that up. Chat, back me up. I feel like I heard that as a rumor, and there were a lot of mixed reactions. People were like, "No."
He just has like a propeller.
Yeah.
Is he gonna fight Obi-Wan or is he gonna fight?
Ooh, what if
who he'd
he?
fight.
No, he couldn't fight Obi-Wan because he would lose.
Well, he'd lose to Prime Obi-Wan. I don't know how Obi-Wan, how skilled he is right now with a lightsaber.
Well, time is moving very fast. He's a Master Jedi again.
He's back to his old self.
Yeah, he looks better than ever.
Time is moving.
Always on the move.
Yeah, he has to do a hello. If he doesn't say hello there at all, I'm gonna be really sad.
Post-credit scene, he walks in a bathrobe. He's like, "What are you still doing here?"
They're
He's like, "Hello
refueling.
there."
They happen to refuel at the same place that Grand Inquisitor is. Grand Inquisitor is just sitting there talking to everyone, and then he jumps in there and says hello there. And then, I mean, it would make no sense, and there would be no reason to do it, but it would be fan service. And
They recreate it shot by shot.
Oh my god! They're just on Utapau.
Oh my god!
They ran out of budget, so they just used the last like 40 minutes of Revenge of the Sith, starting from that scene.
And then they're like, "Wait, are we just watching the ending of Revenge of the Sith right now?" like, I think we are. It's like I don't know how I feel about it.
But they like they made it like they vignetted it so like the edges are darker, so it looks like a flashback. But it's just all of it.
God.
And then it just Obi-Wan wakes up, and it's like
Yeah,
season
it's
2.
like,
Oh. I'm actually excited. I really hope for an amazing 15-minute episode at least.
Oh yes,
I need more.
Rumor has it could exceed an hour.
I would like that.
I would like that very much.
I would certainly like to.
There you
Certainly
go.
like
Kat.
to. There we go. Cat's
There
back
you go.
on. Obi versus Chrysanthemum. He gave the Wookiee his scar.
That's true.
Anyway, anything else? Any last minute thoughts, chat? Anything you want to say before we check off for this podcast episode?
I would like to say we all have excellent t-shirts on today.
That's a good one, Alex.
Ahsoka.
Ooh, Zach, that's lit.
Is that
I mean,
Metallica?
That is
Metallica.
Metallica.
Is it?
It is Metallica.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Enter
Yeah.
Sandman, Anakin's favorite.
Oh yeah, stab those like
Stab those like
stab
buttons.
the like button. I
Yes.
actually like that a lot more.
Treat
Stab
the like
that
button
like
like it's
button.
Reva. Just stab
But
it.
don't kill it. Apparently,
Don't
just
kill it.
Leave
stab
it a little bit alive. Only
Just
mostly
stab it through the heart and
dead.
the spine, and it'll stay alive. Just do that.
You're welcome, Sebastian. If you're actually thanking us, and we're sorry if you're not.
Actually, Sebastian, we're gonna stay on air for another 5 hours. So
23 hours.
you're not sleeping.
I always
tonight.
feel bad when I get chats like this that are like, "Oh, y'all are gonna be the reason I'm sleep deprived." I'm like, "This is gonna be on the chat. Like, you can come and rewatch. Don't feel like you have to stay awake." But thanks for staying awake and
Yeah, I mean,
listening
we
to
get a ton more viewers after we go live. It's almost like they don't even want to see us live. They just want to watch us after we already live. We're already live. Yeah, like we get at the end we have I think like 150 views, and then over the next couple of days it goes up to like 800 or 900 or
Yeah.
sometimes 1,000. So it's like there's a lot of people watching that I guess aren't in our time zone or just can't catch us live at the moment. But I mean, I'm just happy for everyone who watches. You know, it's great. But I
Damn,
guess I won't
Alex,
go to
we're
work.
keeping this man from his job.
Oh gosh.
Your job is to watch us. No, I'm just kidding. We're just like we just pay all of our viewers, but they donate the money that we pay them. It's like, man, you guys are such great support. It's like, but you're paying us, dude. It's like, oh boy. Wait, where is it? Where is it?
There we go. I was
We
thinking
used
about
it.
using it myself.
You're gonna do a reaction. TBH. Would that even get views at this point? Guys, this is I'm ashamed of this. A Bad Batch Season 2 trailer came out I didn't have a chance to sit down and react to it. And sometimes what happens is I keep telling myself, no, don't watch it. You got to react to it. But at this point, it's so far out, I might just watch it
Did
without
I even watch
reacting.
it? Zach, did we see it?
It was
I
just a little
watched it.
teaser, right?
It wasn't that much, right?
No,
I
not
might
really.
have. I'll have to go check to make sure I watched it.
Maybe I might just have to watch it at this point because I keep forgetting about it, and I'm like, oh, I gotta just watch it. But then I'm like, no, you have to sit down and film a reaction, and then that just prolongs me watching it. So I might just go and watch it.
This is
Sorry.
turning into a cult. Make Star Wars great again. Vote for AD.
Vote for
Yeah.
him for what?
I guess your vote is the like button and stabbing the like button and watching. So I think we're slowly getting there, but we're definitely nowhere near the popularity of some people. So we need to raise awareness. We need to build the AD empire and take over the world. One cult worship at a time.
Henceforth, the Galactic Republic will be reorganized into the first Galactic AD Empire.
You just does it really fast. AD Empire.
AD Empire.
Oh, goodness.
Well, anyways, alrighty. I'm all delirious. It's really hot in here. I think that's a good time to call it. I think we covered everything. Thanks everyone for watching. Stop the like button. Kat, always. Thank you so much for always popping on.
Oh, pleasure.
And helping build this podcast together. It's a great team we got here. And
Catch us maybe next week.
too many more. Yeah, we'll be back.
Depending.
Are we doing anything? Is there anything special going on next week?
The finale?
Just the finale. That's it.
Should we do a watch party?
Oh.
Should we do a poll and see what the people say?
Baby.
Yeah. Would you guys prefer a watch party? Do you say the poll having watch party entirety and then or just watch or discussion party
Debrief
afterwards or whatever?
afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess.
Depending on how it goes.
Or just Thursdays.
I'll create all three options. Do a watch party.
Because I mean, I guess because then we can reach a lot of people that can't watch us live because it's in a different time zone technically.
That is true.
We can stop even more people from going to sleep and or from working.
Okay, the poll is live.
Is it in the stream or a community post?
It's in the stream.
Oh, okay.
So far, we have 0 votes. Okay.
Love y'all.
Shit, everyone hates us.
They're like, don't stream ever again, actually.
Yeah,
You guys
can't
could-
just
Yeah.
end it.
It's like, if you guys could just like not make a poll and like get out of my computer, that'd be great.
So far,
Okay.
50%, 45% say do a watch party, 18% say post episode show, 36% save it for Thursday. 50% do a watch party now.
The tension is building.
Still 50%. Only 12 votes, though. There's 3 more of you who haven't voted in here. Everybody in the stream, cast your vote.
Or you will be cast aside. No.
You'll be cast aside.
I don't know if I'm like trying to think, do I even want to do it? Do you guys want to do it? Or would you rather just be like curled up in a ball in a corner with all the lights
Yeah,
out?
I might need to.
It depends.
I don't know.
Maybe we do it after. How about we just do it after?
That's
Or we do a
literally the
pre-watch party.
last place option right now.
Oh, I did like our pre-watch parties. We could do like a pre, like we used to do for Bad Batch, and then everyone goes and hides in a dark, quiet room and watch the episode, and then
Oh yeah, we could do it,
regroup.
and then like
Yeah.
do another stream after,
More streams, more
or just
content.
keep the stream live and have someone who isn't a Star Wars fan entertain the audience while we're watching.
We'll have
Your
Harrison Ford.
roommates.
Harrison Ford will entertain the audience.
We'll just put a cat here
Oh,
and have it like play with the mic for 45 minutes or an hour.
cat ASMR. The
Yeah,
ghost of your cat, your roommate's cat.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
pretty much. That would be the result. So, okay, we'll decide next week. But anyway,
Game
thanks
time.
everyone for tuning in. May the force be with you, and we'll catch you next week.